in our in audio. In audio.
Oh my god.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to
Season
quite
4.
possibly
Season 4.
season 4, but I mean, does it really count when we don't
Three and a
really
half?
know anything about the season?
Oh,
3.2876.
Why
We'll just give
you
it
got to make it
round
dumb?
number like
Season
that.
4. All right. Season 4.
It's not season 4
Is
because we don't
math
even know
your
what's
strong
coming this
suit,
season.
though? Is that your strong suit, though, math?
Math is a
So what's up, guys?
great yes. So again,
Three whole
right?
months.
3 whole months. We have not had a show really since the end of the UFL season. So it's good to see you guys again. Good to see all of our fans that are going to be jumping in just a little bit, I'm sure. But most importantly, it's good to be back together, right? We talk all the time through our messaging app and we stay connected with each other and all the time, but it's not the same. That's
Thank you, Bravo Mate.
kind of a message.
Season
You
4.
know, I don't agree. I don't think
I
we
was-
get to say
I
we
was
have
a
a season
mathlete.
until
I was a
What?
mathlete, so I'm gonna say we're close.
It's
Technically, we're starting our season like we're ramping up into the new season. So
exactly.
it is
And
season
I mean,
4.
we need to get the season started off right. So
I shouldn't be drinking this, but I'm not sponsored either. The best. The ones that I,
Right.
when we were walking around Target and I was like debating
Oh, you went and got
my
them?
little cases. Yes, I ended up getting them. Terrible habit, especially around this time. If y'all haven't tried the Alani Nu candy apple, it's witch's fruit. It's like a candy apple. It is so good. Chef's kiss.
I'll just stick with good old beer.
Burr.
I'm gonna counter that
Mhm.
with God, who is it that makes the new one? Anyways, there's a Welch's grape. Tastes just like Welch's grape soda. It is phenomenal.
Wait. Is it like grape the actual fruit or artificial grape? I have issues with it.
Of course it's artificial. It's an
Okay.
energy
Wel-
drink.
Welch is artificial.
Yes.
Blech.
But it's identical. It tastes just like the Welch's grape from back in the day. So
Back
this
in
is
whose
definitely
day?
something back in my day.
I'm just kidding. I kid.
It's definitely it was definitely something that was designed to appeal to the Gen Xers as we have to get up. Coffee just never really is our thing. We've got this, right? They've got the sun-kissed orange. I want to say it wasn't Bang. I can't remember which one it was. Anyways, there are more and more of these flavors that are coming out from our childhood that are taking over the energy drink market because we're the ones that are drinking them. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we're not here to do an expose on energy drinks. We're here to talk about football. So, obviously, season is over. We've seen a lot of movement with the UFL players getting opportunities to try out with NFL teams. We've seen a couple of people actually make starting rosters. Pretty good. I think what are we at? I'd have to go back and look at the stats, but I want to say there's like 5 or 6 now, not including the players from previous seasons.
Yeah.
We're like 5 or 6 guys from the 2025 season that are on rosters somewhere. So we're exponentially getting better each season on getting players onto active rosters, which
Mhm.
that's kind of been the whole goal, right? This is a second opportunity for players and even some coaches, maybe, right? To get that much needed boost to get over the hill to be competitive at that next level. And so I'm very excited for them. I'm very interested to see, just myself personally, I'm very interested to see some of the guys that didn't make it, if they're going to be coming back or if they're going to be getting edged out by the younger talent that
Mhm.
didn't get signed to NFL rosters either.
I mean, it's
So-
crazy too that our teams are already signing people, and I haven't seen a thing with us. I mean, let alone like who's going to be coach next season. Like they haven't even
Yeah.
is Wade coming back? Are we going to have Pardee? Who knows?
Did y'all see? Man, this was just a couple days ago that I saw it on Facebook. I guess there was like some hoax
Must
post
be true.
that
Oh yeah, with Coach,
Yep.
like passed away or whatever.
he posted on
And
Twitter
he posted
too.
it, was
He
like,
was
"Hey,
mad.
Oh,
up.
yeah.
I feel great. I'm healthy. Yeah,
He is not dead, y'all. Wade
Yeah.
Brigade is alive and well, and he's kicking. I literally just saw him and all his siblings. His sister posted a picture with him in it from like in the past like 24 hours. They were all together, so it's nice to see him out there. He looks
Yeah.
good. He looks healthy, so maybe he'll be back.
We know how the internet is, right? Couple of what?
completely true.
Month
Everything
ago?
on the internet is true.
Mhm.
Whatever
true.
you see on there
Well,
is true.
All true.
let's talk about that though, right? Because a couple of weeks ago, we broke the story about the rumors of all the teams that are getting moved to different locations and blah blah blah, whatever. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's jumping on board. Mike Rapoli gets involved with the financial side of things, starts building up all this drama about, save the stallions, save the riverboats, toot toot. Anyways,
Oh
all these
God!
different things.
It literally
Yes,
flashback.
and then yes,
But
but
to be fair,
if you look,
nobody wanted to stay Memphis except for like two people in Memphis. So
The two passionate,
true,
very very passionate people.
but if and we'll mention them by name. If you go and look on today's postings in Facebook, the Predator couple happened to post the job ad on Indeed for the Houston Roughnecks ticket sales rep. So all this stuff on the internet, and then you have the proof right there that they're probably not going anywhere. Okay. So until you hear it officially from the UFL, it ain't official. Don't
Yep.
believe anything, guys. So
Mm-hmm.
don't get caught up in all the hype. Keep doing your part. Don't get me wrong. Keep doing your part to support your team. Keep helping, push ticket sales, right? Because it not only is it important for your fan base, it's important for the league, right? Everybody needs to do their part to help out. I know we're doing our part, right? Other people around the league are kind of helping do their part, but continue doing it, right? This is how this league is going to stay financially viable. Maybe moving some locations, Ford Field, kind of really expensive. So that would make sense, right?
F them stairs.
Especially
F them stairway to heaven stairs. I hate
FTK
Ford
season.
Field.
Yeah.
I
telling you.
hated Ford
Come on.
Field. But you know what?
Let's put a concourse like halfway up. I mean, my God.
Like two layers. But that kind of leads into a good segue on, them posting about Houston ticket search. Because y'all, our guest today.
I mean,
Wait,
we've been trying for a minute to get them on.
Yeah. So let me just show y'all.
No way. That's great.
Period.
the man, the myth, the legend.
What is up, Mr. Carr?
My. Look, breaking the fourth wall tonight.
Yep.
Looking straight at the camera, y'all.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's first time, long time.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've been waiting since like
Yeah.
XFL season.
First time, way too long time.
I know. Gotta
Yeah.
hold up and hurry up and wait a minute.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Oh, these kids wouldn't remember those kinds of references, sir.
No.
Right, showing my age there, Jay.
Okay. We have so many questions asked. There's so many things that we want to know and so many things we want to get caught up on. First and foremost, I want to say a personal thank you to you guys for all the work that you've been doing in the off season. You
Yeah.
specifically, but these two also, right? Unfortunately, summer season gets kind of busy for me with soccer and my U.S. Women's National Tour prodigies that are going to be taking over the world soon. So I can't really get as involved. but I love the fact that you guys are still doing it, right? And it's not just the food bank or the season ticket member things at SeaWorld, things like that. Why don't you tell us, well, how about we do this first? Because I've been dying to know, James, how
What
did
is your
you
favorite
wind up?
taco? I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that's not my question. That's DJ's.
Yeah,
DJ.
Um,
yeah.
but how did you get your start in this industry? How did you wind up here in San Antonio being the world's best, the world's hardest working man in the room?
That's a great question. I think that is one of the few things I am going to be allowed to talk about tonight.
About
How
yourself.
I was, but it's a fun story. I was just actually talking about this yesterday, as I was back in Jacksonville. But I'll certainly get there. As they're a huge part of my story. But for me, I grew up, a massive sports fan from as early as I can remember. I remember being assisted and being taught to read by reading the back pages of the New York Daily News, reading the sports section and circling words until I knew all the words. But originally, I'm from Queens, New York, which I don't think everybody knows about me. Is that I'm a native New Yorker from Queens, and I grew up here in all the New York teams except football. But by the time I got to college, at Temple University in Philadelphia, I started there working in sports in the athletic department, supporting our football program and our men's basketball program. And I was just doing odd jobs around the office, like bookkeeping, handling checks, 50/50 raffle, game day security, at some of our basketball and football games.
Nice.
So anything to just, kind of be a fly on the wall and be a sponge for knowledge. The fortunate thing is at that time, being at Temple, our football program was not very good. We got bounced out of the Big East shortly after my departure from Temple, but our basketball programs were, nationally known, and we had two Hall of Fame coaches. With the men's coach being John Staley, not John Staley, John Chaney. If I could show you this, see my little Coach Chaney bobblehead, which is right up here. So that guy was a big part of my starting towards Hall of Famer there. But the reason I mentioned Staley is Dawn Staley is I was actually the women's basketball coach. She started as the coach there at Temple, and she's now the head coach of the U.S. national team and South Carolina. So being around these legends, just really opened up a passion to want to do more in sports. I just didn't know what it looked like. So my favorite team of all time is Jacksonville Jaguars in the
I couldn't
NFL.
tell. Couldn't
And
tell one bit, man.
so it was interesting how that worked out. My grandparents are from South Georgia, and that was the connection to becoming a Jaguar fan. So after college, all I knew was I just wanted to continue working in sports. Did not know what the role would look like or what I would even do. I just know I was a fan, and I wanted to work with other fans, and just be a part of game days. With my favorite team. So basically, I wrote into a mailbag column, a Q&A. How do I get on with the Jaguars? How do I get on with the Jaguars? It took me 11 months to bulldog that opportunity. But in 2006, the Jaguars hired me as a guest services intern. So I had a little spot in the guest services booth of the West Upper Deck. And this would be where I would answer, fan questions, kind of stop any issues that went on in the crowd. And I didn't really care what I had to do. All I knew was I was, there with my favorite team. But what this did was expose me to, being in game days on an NFL level, working with an NFL program. So by the time I was 22, I'd already been with two teams, one in the NCAA and one in the NFL. So beyond my guest services role, simultaneously I started with a company called Fanatics, which is, I'm sure everybody's heard of Fanatics by now. They're the largest online retailer of sports merchandise. And I started there as a call center grunt, just, answering phones, emails, phone calls, where's my order, just starting in that way and working my way up their corporate ladder, getting promoted 4 times at Fanatics and all the way up to a business manager. And these little nuggets along the way, kind of shape the experience like you get from me now. So my Fanatics experience, I started as a call center grunt, got moved into the accounting department for my first promotion. My next promotion was for a site experience specialist, and this is where I would, look through all of our websites and our mailers as through the eyes of the sports fan. That was the biggest sports fan we had. I was going to be the one to catch, different errors. So if I can give you an example, like there was a baseball player named Josh Hamilton, a huge contract with the LA Angels, leaving the Texas Rangers, and he said some disparaging things about Texas on his way out. So I was the guy who would catch, you don't want Hamilton 32 jerseys going out in our emails to everybody if, the fans aren't going to like him. So I really enjoyed that job, but I wanted more, and I was promoted to being a business manager there on the e-commerce side for colleges. So this is where I learned to manage my first book of business, in which I had a portfolio of about 70 different college accounts, with the largest ones being like Fresno State, Colorado State, the college football playoff, and some of the smaller ones being like your small mid-major schools like Drake, or things like that. So simultaneously, I went back to the Jaguars in my first sales and service role, and this was just designed to give me something to do. I just did it for the perks. I never thought I would be selling tickets like that. I thought I'd be a very average champion in the Champions Club, and the Champions Club is designed as an extension of the sales and service team. So while at the Jaguars, they had their own inside sales team, just like any other major sports team would. These are people that are making the cold calls and, banging out the phones all day. But I was in the community. The role of a champion is to be that extension of that sales team. So we were the people who were in work, church, school, all those the other factors to help us get those extra tickets sold. So I did that and thought I'd be a very average champion when I first started that in 2013. And little did I know, the following year, our fan group, similar to what we have here in San Antonio, our fan group formed the Bold City Brigade, and I became like kind of the ticket face of the BCB. And I was the king of Twitter, so I was selling a lot of tickets via social media, malls, colleges, different work organizations. And lo and behold, I was building a background as a really good ticket seller. So at the Jaguars, we had this different levels of ticket sales and the perks that you would get. And the highest would be our Hall of Fame level. So myself and a couple of my other great teammates there became perennial Hall of Famers. So what you guys can't see, if I were to take one of these off the wall, I'll do it in a moment to kind of see what the award looks like. But I end up hitting the Hall of Fame level 4 times. And that level is where the team flies you out to a road city. We all agreed on that city as a group, what city we were going to take over that year. But to get a nice dinner on the team, and it was a really cool experience. Get to go on the field and experiences that I would not have had otherwise came through the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if I could take one of these off the wall here, we'll see. I don't necessarily stand up. You can see what they look like, but that is where I really began working with fans and doing ticket sales. So this is one of my plaques from the Jaguars Hall of Fame. If I could,
Oh, that's fire.
it looks
Nice.
like.
That's awesome. Very nice.
So I hit that 4 times and was super, super proud of it. And was just doing my thing. Little did I know I was really getting a background for being a really good ticket seller and just, understanding fan needs. And even though Jaguars struggled at the time, I was really great at selling what our experiences were. And I was a fan, just like anybody else. Like after the field intros would happen, like when the guys come out onto the field, I'm in my seat with everybody else, cheering my head off, for the boys in teal and black. So the Jaguars really became the foundation as to, what I would look like if I were to work in sports full time. And, I had some really amazing experiences while I was there with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Most notably, I was a contestant on Sports Jeopardy in 2016, and our head coach found out and gave me an awesome opportunity to put my episode of the show on in a team meeting room. So to this day, I've got to be the only Jeopardy contestant to have had their watch party
That's
in an
wild.
NFL stadium.
So this is the one that Dan Patrick was hosting, right?
Yeah, and Dan Patrick was the host. Dan didn't like me very much, but I had a great time with it.
You know what?
and
I'm
I was
gonna go back and see if I can find that. I never knew you were on
I
that
wish
one.
I
That's
could,
awesome.
man. Those episodes are scrubs, but I do have the screenshot of it. But that's what my balance was for many years was Fanatics and the Jaguars simultaneously. Both jobs kind of worked and played off one another really, really well. And never thought I would be doing anything different. I was just, focused on getting promoted at Fanatics however many times and retiring there. But in 2019, we go through a lot of slow periods. We had a lot of the wrong teams winning championships and business slowed. So I was laid off
Not
from
the
my
wrong
Fanatics job.
teams.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, what happened was we had a couple years where Clemson and Alabama were in the college football final multiple years. The Patriots and the Boston Red Sox ended up winning the World Series and the Super Bowl kind of back to back in the same time period. So when you're looking at those certain markets, they're all tapped out. You know, like if Alabama wins 4 national titles in a row and they have 3 shirts, do they really need a fourth? So it really, yeah, that was really what went down. And Fanatics ended up laying me off in 2019, and this forced a bit of a pivot, you know, to figure out, well, what do I want to do next? And I knew I didn't want to work for the Jaguars full time, being such a big fan. So I was able at the end of my severance to earn a position in client services with the Orlando Magic. And this put me in charge of working with season ticket members and understanding the retention side of what that sports business looks like. And all they cared about was that I make great experiences happen for our fans in Jacksonville, and that's why they brought me in Orlando. And things were going great in Orlando, hit all my goals my rookie season. But Rudy Gobert touched the microphone, and the NBA season shut down due to COVID, and that changed the landscape of sports. So our team goes into the Disney bubble for a while, and it got to be a dicey situation with the Magic. So I had to make a financial decision to leave the Orlando Magic for a remote position in finance with KPMG. And that's the other part of my background was finance work beyond the sports. So did the KPMG thing and, you know, wanted to pivot back to sports when things got back to quote unquote normal. But I visited San Antonio, had a buddy of mine who became one of my season ticket members here with the Brahmas that worked for the Spurs, and I came to visit and really liked the way that they treated the arena. I liked the way that the city treated COVID versus Florida, and felt that I was going to attack an opportunity here with the San Antonio Spurs. For whatever reason, the Spurs were haters and didn't bring your boy on. So I was still with KPMG for the first year of living here in San Antonio. But KPMG ended up forcing out the out of towners, which worked out perfectly in my timeline. You know, I left KPMG in early November of 2022, and just a few weeks prior, I saw The Rock on Sports Center and mentioned that the XFL was returning and San Antonio was going to get a team. And I said, well, there's going to be my opportunity to get back into sports. So the next day, I got a call. I applied for the XFL on November 9th. I think about 2 weeks later, I got a call from my director, John Navarez, and he said, it's my first day. You're the last name on my list to call, but we love your resume. Do you think you can, you know, come in here and make an impact? And whatever, you know, rah-rah speech John gave me. And I was like, honestly, dude, I never wanted to leave sports to begin with, you know, and I told him in a very confident tone. I said, I do have 4 awards on my wall from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I say, I know how to sell tickets in a new place. I'm ready to go. So I started with the XFL at the end of December 2022 and haven't looked back.
Awesome.
Nice.
It's a
I'm
long
so
story.
grateful for it. I am so grateful for it.
Next year will be 25 years working in sports. So it's
Whew.
wild how
Let's
time can fly, but yeah.
I know you're only like 35.
I turned 42 on Friday. Can you believe it?
No, you're a
Black
baby.
on crack, folks.
You're still young, man.
42 this week.
Wild. Well,
hmm
even though we finally got you on here, you're here for another reason, and you got it all over. And I just want to let everyone know that is watching up there in the QR code. That's for Fourth and Gold. It'll take you straight to their give page. So if you want to donate, because this month is an important month, tell us about it.
Yes, absolutely. So my role with Fourth and Gold actually started prior to moving to San Antonio. So to give you a little bit of background there, my good friend Erin Tracy is our founder and president over at Fourth and Gold, and she works for a hospital in Jacksonville, Florida called Wilson Children's Hospital. And she is a pediatric oncology nurse, but she deals with kids with cancer every single day and has to make, you know, very, very tough conversations happen with those families. And long story short, Erin wanted to do more to, you know, find a cure to eradicate childhood cancer, and brought me on as a board member when she started Fourth and Gold as a nonprofit in 2020. And I was very confused, you know, when she had asked me to be a part of her board. I'm like, my world is point guards and quarterbacks. I don't know the slightest thing about the medical side. Although my mom's a nurse, you know, I don't know the slightest thing about what I could do. But the last thing that I actually did when I worked for the Jaguars was connect her to the Jaguars Foundation, because she wanted to distribute 50,000 gold ribbons at the Jaguars home opener. And all I did was make the connection. Well, I was brought in as a board member, in 2020. And, I said, well, I'll just use my voice. I'll use whatever little platform that I have to try to grow awareness, and that role has shifted in such positive ways. So 2021, the opportunity comes where I relocate here to Texas. I said, I'm not giving up my position on the board. I said, if anything, there's a whole new wave of people, that we can introduce fourth
Yep.
and goal to. And having a position here with the XFL and then the UFL really allowed me to be able to promote that, at my games, in my attire. You guys see me wearing my lanyards all the time. You always see this gold ribbon on. I'm not sure anybody ever sees me without the gold ribbon on. But during the month of September, it's so critical because September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And that tradition that was started when I was still with the Jaguars still continues to this very day, as in literally yesterday. So each Jaguars home opener, we do still distribute 50,000 gold ribbons. Yesterday was our 6th year of doing that. So I'm fresh off my flight. I left Jacksonville at about 4:30 a.m. This morning because I was there yesterday giving out our ribbons to our Jaguar fans and really just trying to grow that awareness all throughout Texas. So to tell you what we do, we raise money for critical research because childhood cancer is severely underfunded. Less than
Mhm.
4% goes towards childhood cancer research, and we cannot find a cure if we don't do research. So every dollar that we raise goes towards that research. So we've funded at this point 7 clinical trials, and I'll be the first one to admit I don't always get all the ins and outs of what goes on during our trials. My job is to amplify the voice and help grow us as an organization. And it's something that I do with an immense amount of pride. It's a lot of work, between living in one state and trying to help grow a nonprofit in another. But anytime that I'm, around the parents or the families of the children who are either battling or angel children who are no longer with us, I'm like, if they can deal with this, I can deal with getting on a flight. I can deal with being tired, and pulling up my laptop at 11 to write a press release or, whatever it takes, I'm very much whatever it takes, for us to grow and to be able to find this curing within our lifetimes. We have a shirt that we release each year, which this year it has 140 names of children and families impacted by childhood cancer. And I can't wait till we have no names on that shirt because we found a cure. So whenever
Nice.
you see me and you see that gold ribbon, like the one that I have, here on my pullover or that I have on my lanyard or my backpack or anywhere else, that is what that is for. And I'm looking for everybody's help in terms of awareness, social follows, donate if it so touches your heart. But it's a really great organization I'm happy to be part of. And I was promoted to the vice president role in February. So in my vice president role there, I really focused on the business of our organization, trying to build as many connections in as many places as possible and trying to make those impactful connections that'll help us find, bigger donors, help us do more events, help us grow awareness, even if it's something as simple as taking a picture with me and just following our social page. Every little bit helps.
That is awesome. Do you
Very.
guys plan on doing like a text chapter?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I'm certainly talking about. I think I can be probably a year or two away from doing something like that. It's really about finding the support here in Texas because I'm the only member of our board who is no longer in Jacksonville. So in that regard, at times it feels like it is just me, Oos. But, I am doing my best to grow that awareness. And I think I found some really great friends here and great colleagues in town who would be great board members for a Texas chapter. So I think, as long as we keep growing and things keep moving in the direction that we're going, we can absolutely make that goal happen. I think it's probably likely that it
Oh
happens.
yeah. I mean, and out of everyone, I mean, cancer's affected my life not as a child, but still, but
Yeah.
hearing and understanding and just reading about how little it goes to children, just it blows my mind. Um, so we're gonna
Yeah.
support you no matter what, however we can help, whether it's just putting a QR code, wearing the ribbons. Usually, I do have a couple ribbons on hand when I'm at games. Anyways, the year that was it last season when they were here, right? Last season for one of the games.
Two
Two
seasons
seasons.
ago.
Already
So
two seasons?
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I remember for my whole 108 section, I was just passing them out, the bracelets and all the
Yeah.
little ribbons wherever I could. So, I mean, Whatever we can do.
Yeah, that was fantastic. And while I'm here, I also shout out my other, child cancer focused organizations with Discovery Camps that we
Hmm.
teamed up with in the 2024 season for our annual childhood cancer focused dramas game. That's a fundraiser where anybody who buys tickets raises a portion of money that goes back to those two organizations together. And this past season, I added a third organization called Big Love Cancer Care, and both those different organizations focus on children and families affected by childhood cancer in different ways. Like Discovery Camp, does some really cool things with kids in hospitals, and Big Love Cancer Care does something similar but different. And they're throughout the state of Texas with chapters in Houston, Austin, and San Antonio. So yeah, I'm always looking for other organizations that are similar focused because we can make a positive impact for these families in such different ways.
Yeah, I know.
So we split it
Yeah, I
now.
know. The only one I know of in San Antonio is Head for Cure, because one of our close friends, their son was impacted by a childhood cancer and he did pass away. So they always are
Mhm.
doing the walks. And I know there's a 5K coming up this month for Head for Cure. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's the only one I know of, at least locally. But it's good to hear about all the other ones too, because, like I said, it doesn't get talked about enough, doesn't get focused on enough. So y'all hit that QR code
Yeah,
over there, go straight to the page to
Yeah.
donate,
yeah,
but you can also click on all the other topics that they have so you can learn more about childhood cancer, whether cancer has just impacted your life, period. It doesn't matter if it's a child, an adult, whatever it is. Cancer sucks. So
Hmm.
So,
donate.
so I know we're, obviously, I don't really know what's going on for the next season, for UFL. But are you planning another kind of,
Mhm.
fundraiser, ticket, donation kind of deal for this season as well for Fourth and Gold?
Oh man, you better believe it. Yeah, absolutely. That's always one that is high atop my list in terms of, something
Hmm.
impactful. But I'm glad you asked, BD, because, one of the things I've done in my role at the Promise, I work with over 30 different nonprofits
Oh wow.
here
A
in
big
the
fan.
Alamo City. So whether it's my own, and the idea of doing one that impacted my own came from doing so many others during 2023. And I built so many great, great relationships with multiple nonprofits. So you guys that get my member newsletter will always see that community spotlight at the end. I like to be able to showcase what's going on with the different nonprofit organizations around town because my list of members is a fairly long one, and I don't know who could possibly be positively impacted by
Hmm.
any of those organizations. So I just blow it out, to the whole audience and let people kind of pick and choose where they may. But yeah, I always want to help as many different nonprofit organizations and for-profit organizations, as long as it's something that's a good social cause. But yes, those things will continue, and I've been tasked by our league to come up with like a more official looking program that we can bring out to a lot of these organizations. We actually had a nice meeting about that earlier today. Some cool things in the works for not just next season, but future seasons in terms of what things we can do as a team and as a league to positively impact our community.
Yes.
That's
And
awesome, man.
speaking of that, when you
Hmm.
guys see those things for community efforts, sign up. I mean, these are, it was very fun, but it was a little sad to see that only 3 fans showed up to help with the food bank.
Yeah.
Um, Although we were a small crew, we were very mighty. And it was fun. It was actually fun hanging out with some of the guys from front office and dealing with mutant cabbages and beets and carrots and potatoes and being on certain veggies squads. But
Hey,
we
cabbage squad for life. All right, holding it down.
cabbage squad here. Uh,
All right.
but I think, what did we do? Like
Almost eight
over
thousand. Almost eight
That was
thousand
your
pounds
second
of
event
food.
of
that.
the
Yeah, that
day,
was our second
too.
event of the day. Now we'll get to that one too,
Yeah.
because that the first one we did was with James, but for food bank we did over 6,000 pounds of food, and it was like 9,000 meals that can be made out of what we did as just 20 people. And
Yeah.
we were there from what, 5 to 7:30, two and a
Yeah.
half hours at tops. And that's how much we got done. It was myself, BD, and Brahma Babe. As you can see, she was with these massive mutant carrots too. Like these veggies, I'm telling you, I don't know what farm these came from. Like I've never seen these veggies at HEB or Sprouts.
I mean, like the cabbages were no joke this big.
Two
around.
beady, like 2 or
Yeah.
3 beady heads.
Yeah.
And he got a big
Everything's
head.
bigger in
Yeah.
Texas is what I was
Maybe
told.
maybe only 2 SAJ heads, but like 3 of mine for sure.
I mean, and you saw the picture of what's his name holding that massive carrot.
Yeah.
They came intertwined and all kinds of stuff. But we did do 2 community. I called it my Brahmas Community Service Day because we started out the day with James at our 3rd year doing school supplies. And I think we knocked that out like in 8 minutes. That was the fastest.
the quickest one we've done.
Yeah, it was a very quick one this year. But it was an impactful day. You know, speaking of, I want to shout out my great teammate Jose. While I was not at the food bank, I did see the picture of him holding the massive carrot at the food bank. Shout out to you, Jose. It looked like you guys had a brilliant time down at the food bank.
Yeah, I mean, I was catching them sweeping, and I'm like, whoa, have y'all ever seen this before? Like, they're working, y'all. They're really working. But
yeah. And there's going to be more of those opportunities. I'm still meeting with a whole bunch of different organizations, and the calendar is filling up. Like after I landed this morning, I went straight to a meeting with the Epilepsy Foundation. Thankfully, they're right by the airport. So I just went from my car straight to the Epilepsy Foundation to talk about an event that they have coming up in November. So, you know, things are certainly filling up, and there will be more of those opportunities where there's a chance for, you know, our wonderful fans to be able to get involved. We certainly will not hesitate to look to you.
I love that you guys are doing that too, that you're, you know, trying to get the fans involved. And like Jackie said, I mean, the next event, it would be great if, you know, the 20 people show up or plus, you know, just more than us 3. But I mean,
we're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
No wonder we're in all the pictures and promotion. We're the only 3 that show up.
Yeah, I mean,
we have a whole lot more.
Any fans that you know are thinking about it, I would really encourage, you know, go out there and do it. It's such a great and rewarding experience. You know, just that whole day was fantastic for me. So, you know, I understand stuff happens. You can't go. You know, I talk crap.
It was in the middle of the week too.
You know, I mean,
I understand.
Hey, next one, try and make a point to get there and you know, serve your community. It's a fantastic event.
Yeah. Not only that, but I do want to also kind of touch on that because, you know, with everything going on in the UFL and, you know, fans unknown about their teams and stuff. Well, this is a good way to put your team name out there too, is just by going and doing community service. Even maybe your front office is not there, but you showing up and doing food bank, taking pictures, going live, wearing your team shirt. I mean, it does wonders that they see that we're out there doing stuff regardless of what's going on back in the, you know, with the big wigs, whatever they're doing. So instead of complaining, go do something about it. Like, and it really does feel great. I mean, I felt great the whole day. Like, we were walking around in our Brahmas gear at Target. We were getting every stop that we made, we got talked to. When we stopped to eat lunch at a Mediterranean place, out of all places, a man came up to us and was like, "Oh, I love the Brahmas. I got tickets. I went to the game last season." And we're like, "Oh, cool.
That's awesome." When that happens.
It's crazy." And then in Target, BD was buying some electronics and we were there waiting, and AT&T guys were trying to make us switch service, and although it didn't work for us, we worked it on them, and they followed the podcast, and they're like, "Oh, we're the football team," and that's how we did it.
the old switcheroo on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like to remind, like, you know, we are still in our infancy, so, you know, those things are coming. You know, this league is an interesting one, especially for me with my experience. I did not work for, you know, any other kind of minor league product prior. So I came from the Magic and the Jaguars. So, you know, I knew what those community relationships look like from different levels with those teams. But here it's like we're still, as an entire league, we're still that best kept secret. So it's a great way to give back to community, but also to build those bonds and relationships with your teams. You never know what experiences can come from that. As you guys certainly well know, like the relationship between team and fan is as strong in this league as any. And take it from me, I've been doing this a real long time in multiple leagues. the relationship between fan and team here is as special as anything else I've ever seen. It reminds me a lot of my champion experience with the Jaguars. So I appreciate you guys. If we had a Champions Cup here, you guys would be three of the top champions, that we have. So it's a very similar thing, and that connection is very, very, very real. I have followed sports fandom when different relationships from birth to the tomb and everything in between. So it's an emotional thing. It's an emotional bond. And if you guys have the time to be able to do that and want to get back, by all means, you can always talk to me. I'll always have something for you.
So you bring up an interesting point that BD and I have said multiple times. Like, we have, been shouting it from the rooftops. Horns Forward podcast has said it a ton of times. This is the only league that I can think of, and we've got several minor league teams, that have been here in San Antonio. Whether it have been, minor league hockey, we've got a minor league baseball team, all these different things, right? We have never, and we've had several different minor league football teams, but we have never had an experience like this where you can actually get to talk to and get to know and actually befriend some of the players, right? Some of them, they're interested in doing what they're doing and going about their business. But a lot of them, and not just with the Brahmas, but just in general. I mean, BD and I have made frenemies with every single team we've ever faced, and we've only had two people ever really get mad at us, right? But this
For
is the only
good
place
reason.
you can go.
No,
Well,
of course not.
I mean,
Of course
no.
not.
One of them started it. It was not us, BD. You remember that one that just did not like you, okay? Which is weird, right?
It was just your
Anyway.
face. That was it. He's like, I just don't like your face.
Having those connections, those real connections with real people, you're not going to find this anywhere. Just that alone is worth the price of the ticket, right?
Mhm.
So I highly encourage everybody, if you haven't already done so, this next season, let's bring somebody new to every single game and let them see what it's all about. Let them start getting the connection. Let them see some of these incredible fan experiences that James
Put them
and
in
company
section
come up with.
108. Section
Yeah,
108.
134.
Hot spot
It
for both you guys.
depends.
But yeah, I can definitely enter that sentiment, Jay, because this league gives you access like you'll never see in any other league. Like, I look at our fan experiences sometime, and when I, talk to a lot of my members, I'll ask them like, hey, did you participate in any of our fan experiences? And a lot of them will tell me no, they either didn't know about it or it's like, that's not for me. I strongly urge that you should. It took me 28 years to be able to walk on a football field for the first time. We are able to offer that, multiple times a season to our season ticket members. You can meet some of our, great athletes. You meet more of the athletes than I get to, and I work here. So, you can build fantastic relationships with people just by coming out and hanging out and having a good time. And those don't even cost extra. They're already rolled into your, season ticket value.
Right.
Period.
So you saw Jackie's tattoo. Everybody's seen mine. That's from Jordan Wood.
What? Yeah, I don't think you really.
Oh,
You don't ever showed up. What are you talking about?
Everybody.
His shirt is too tight today. That's all he had to say, so you prove it.
Yeah.
Everybody, including Milton Hope, knew about it. And P.S. I found out that Milton Hope was actually kind of encouraging the cameramen to do that whole thing. So that might kind of be a thing to rally the home fans. But anyways, John, you need to move down here to San Antonio and get out of that sewage pit that is St. Louis, and then I'll bring you to every game. Anyways, yep. Sorry, honey. Anyways, the point is, we got tattooed by a player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where else are you going to find something like that happening? Where else are you going to find somebody like Parker Romo, where you can connect and you know what's going on, and you send gifts for his newborn baby, or just running into Coach Party on the streets in DC just randomly, and he was like, "Hey," and we were all like, "Hey," like the whole Spider-Man meme.
Yep.
Do you think any NFL coach is going to see a fan and be like, "Hey"? No,
They're not going to be walking around anyways.
Right. The experiences alone. Again, just those real connections. Like we talk to party more in the season than we have in the off season, obviously. But there were genuine connections and genuine messages, and right, like we were interacting. You can't get that anywhere else. So, guys, again, I'm going to keep screaming it from the mountaintops. Bring new friend. Let's see about getting some more people connected. Get them involved with some of these, member experiences. I'll volunteer mine. If James, if we can do that, I will volunteer mine to new fans just so they can come and check out the experience and see what it's like. So,
Yeah, I mean, those things are certainly possible if you want to transfer them. Just let myself or whoever your experience manager is know. Yeah, we can do those kind of things all the time. We want people to experience this league. We want it to grow. And here we are wrapping up our renewals for the 2026 season in just a week. The 15th is the deadline. So if you haven't renewed your seats yet and you want to hold on to them, definitely let me know prior to getting to that date, because it will be a free for all, on those other seats once they get
So
released.
how are we doing for renewals? I mean, can you talk about that? I mean,
I could talk about it, but I'm probably not knowledgeable enough to talk about, because in all honesty, I don't read the reports. I'll be the first one to say, like, I typically just run my own race, and when they send a report that's like a league wide kind of thing, I honestly delete them, man. Like I don't, I'm pretty much like siloed in just my members and what we have going on. But I can say with certainty that I know our team did renew the most accounts league wide through our team, and we appreciate all of you guys as our fans for coming directly to us. It is very, very impactful when you guys work directly with us to be able to do that. It helps us keep track. I can't tell you, we don't get to keep track of things that people purchase online. So I've unfortunately had this happen sometimes where a member might have renewed or purchased online, and I might not have known about it. So they're either not getting my newsletter, or we have wires crossing or something like that. So 10 times out of 10, always lean on the sales staff. We're here for a reason, and we're all happy to help.
and I mean, and obviously you're I think all of our ticket rep, but and you're by far the best there is. But I mean, the other guys, they're fantastic.
No
too.
bias, no bias.
No bias at all.
That's what the people say.
I mean,
maybe a little
you the
bit.
people chat, the real people chat.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what the streets say.
What does that belt say?
That's what the belt
That's
says.
what I'm saying.
It's funny you mentioned the belt, and I realized this as I was leaving Jacksonville, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart for you guys to give me that championship belt. This is the one time that I am actually without it, and I'll explain the reason why I do not have it on me. So I love bringing it back for our Jacksonville event. It's so cool for me to be able to put that. Like I spoke to my manager at the Jaguars yesterday at our table. I can't tell you how valuable that is to me to put that in his hand, to be like this was never the plan for me. I didn't know thinking I was going to be a sports salesperson, but to be able to put that in the hands of my mentors and my leaders, there, and they can see the positive impact that's going on here in San Antonio, and see that the kid's done good, means a ton to me. But this trip, with it being so short, I was only in town for a little over 30 hours. I had to cram it into my carry-on. I'm not going to check a bag for a short trip, but I will be back in Florida in less than 2 weeks for our big cornhole fundraiser and some of our spirit nights. So I'll be bringing my larger suitcase where I don't have to cram that championship belt in there. So I left it at Erin, our founder. I left it at her house, and she's like, "You trust me? You trust me? Of course I trust you. But don't let your dogs tear through my championship." But I said, "You can hold it here just because I'll be right back in 2 weeks." But it's great with the fans there, because remember, my Florida people have never seen it. I get to expose the UFL to a whole new subset of fans out there who haven't seen that logo. So for me, it might be just cool to just me, but to be able to prop that championship belt up at the Jaguar Stadium and have the Brahmas logo on it. If you guys can see, I got in trouble over this last year. Chad won't be listening to the podcast, you won't know. But my Jaguars credential actually has my photo of it in my Brahmas uniform. So my Brahmas uniform is featured on my NFL credential 2 years in a row. That is so cool to me, to see two teams that are near and dear to my heart represented on the same sheet of paper. Like the emotional value that gives me is phenomenal. So I do appreciate the title because that allows me to have other people, either want to take a photo with it or hold it. It's like, oh man, this is heavy, or it gives me more chances to talk about the Brahmas, talk about the UFL, talk about my life here in Texas and the positive impact being made. So we're going to do that all over again in just 2 weeks at our cornhole tournaments and our other fourth and gold events. So that
Well,
is
I
the
know,
only reason
I
I
know
don't
it's
have
the
it.
Brahma's logo, but there's a reason we put those teal stones on there for you.
Yeah, that definitely means
Mhm.
a lot. It's super cool to bring it back. That's the second time it's been to our stadium in Jacksonville, and it's cool. I'll be able to show it to more people and let other people take a photo with it, and it's cool. But it does say the hardest work in the room, and that's a title that I certainly wear with honor. I think John, made this point when I first came in. He's like, you can't really I wish I could phrase it the way. John, if you're in the comments, go ahead and leave it there. But it's something about like, it being valuable when people know your work ethic. So the cool thing is that, for my audience here, they know how hard I work. They know what I enjoy, being able to give back to people. And it was a nice reflection of that in that title. So I can't wear it. It don't really fit around your boy waist, but I do prop it up on my shoulder with immense pride.
Hey,
All you need.
you've earned it many, many times over. So
Yeah. How do you keep winning the award named after you every year?
I want to win it twice. I want to be the first person to win it twice. That's the
The
goal.
first
And they
person to win it twice and his own
they can
award.
call me Jimmy Two Belt.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
The next one we'll get you like a little small one that you could wear like a wrist.
There you
one.
go.
little wristwatch belt.
Okay. So the next question you may be able to answer, you may not. And if you can't, that's fine. But what can we look forward to next season as far as, potentially new fan experiences, new game day things going on? Can you talk to us about any of that? Like what
Not yet.
can we use to help sell more tickets for you?
I think we're just early in the timeline on that, Jay. I think that as we get closer to those winter months, with the schedule release and whatnot coming about, I think at that point some of those things will be firming up. Right now, everybody's kind of in those preliminary talks as to what would it look like. If we didn't have any limitations, what could we do on a game day? And then it goes from a period of, the pie in the sky vision to, all right, these are our dates and our games. What can we align, with certain things and whatnot? But I do hope we get to revamp, some of those things to continue to add value. But I would say as we get later on in the calendar, more of those things will firm up. I would love to answer that once I know, but we just haven't got to that point in the year yet.
Could you tell us what your there is no budget, there is no whatever you want to do, you can do fan experience would be like?
One thing that I think would be super ideal, and I don't know how I would make it work, but everybody knows I'm a huge wrestling fan. I want to have wrestling matches at the Alamo Dome. That's my pie in the sky idea. I want to be able to have like a full wrestling card there.
Jay was trying to have a boxing match a couple seasons ago, but
now that I've gotten to know so many wrestlers here, I think I've got a lot of support in that way. But I would love to do something like that. I think the fan experiences that we have now are really cool. I would like to eventually be able to jump out of the suit at some point so I can participate in some of the fan experiences that we have. Yeah, I think those are really cool. But it's always like trying to figure out ways that not just we can continue to add value, but also execute them. So like with us here in San Antonio, no secret, we have a very small team. So it takes a lot of effort from us each game to be able to execute those different things that we do. But we love doing them. They give great value back to our fans. And not every market in the league is able to do all those different things that we do. So we really like to be able to give back in that way. And we're always looking for new things. But for me, a new idea certainly would involve wrestling or something cool about the team entrance or something like that. I would like to revamp some of those things. What does that look like? I don't know.
Take the smoke away. I was dying.
Nobody
warned me.
A lot of cryo was used this year.
I couldn't even see my team running in.
First time Jackie's ever complained about too much.
I know,
smoke.
like what the heck?
Yeah, the only
touche, bro. Touche. I literally had to fan that like with my freaking sign. I was like, "What the heck is going on here?" Nobody warned me, and then I saw
Yeah.
horses run out. I'm like, "What is going on? This is all."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so
horses was a
confused. Where are we
surprise.
at?
Nobody knew about the horses prior to them coming out.
Can,
But
can
I
we
do know
not
that the
do
new
that?
What's the
We
part?
we
The
we,
horses?
we had a
or
bad
the smoke?
experience with horses at a gunslingers game, so
Oh, no way. No way. Evan,
well,
are you watching? Is Evan on? You might have
there
to let
was
him
there was
know.
a gunslingers game. They ran a horse out, and it's just standing on the end zone, and it just decided, just you know what,
Shit
it's
stain.
time. So just all over the end zone.
Oh
Didn't that
Oh
Lord.
my
same thing?
goodness.
Didn't that same thing happen at the Brahmas game, but it was on the sidelines?
I can neither confirm nor deny any
I knew it.
accidents with the
I knew it.
horses during
It just
during
reminds
the
me
game.
of that picture you sent with the feces, the feces in the
In the end
the
zone?
in the pool in his lovely pool, and they had this
Oh, in
sign,
our lazy river over here.
the
Yeah,
lazy
so
river.
where I live now, there's like 2 pools. There's a lazy river, a water slide, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, there was a sign up there that the lazy
Close.
river gets shut down when people have accidents in the lazy river.
Said don't
Um,
deuce in the pool.
It
I don't
was
know.
going
They're
in
gonna
a
have to figure.
circle.
Now I'm not a pool guy. I'm not one for all that water. But I don't know if they need to diaper it up, do whatever they got to do. I don't know.
Yep. Yep.
So
I
yeah, I can neither confirm nor deny any horse accidents,
I
but
could see the Brahma
that's an Evan thing.
fight night. Brahma fight night. Have some wrestlers wrestle some of our players and regular wrestlers.
That'll never happen. Could you imagine me
Yeah.
going to the coach and being like, "Yeah, I need our best pass rusher. He's got a tag team match. That's stirred up." Like, no,
Mm,
Oh, that'd be
that'll
fantastic.
never
The
happen.
bench.
No.
no,
Oh
we'll,
shit.
we'll let Jorge jump into the wrestling part and
Right?
take
Yeah.
another chair in the back or something like that.
Oh
But
Lord.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, I want to see more things like more outside the box things and things that we can do during the off season as well. Like me being a trivia nerd, I would love to do some type of trivia event. I think that'd be really cool.
Oh, heck yeah,
I
like
don't
a
know
Brahma's
exactly
night.
what it looks like, but I've hosted trivia over 50 times, so I think that would be something super cool to do.
Yes.
So I don't know what it looks like, but yeah, I think that'd be a nice, new member thing. I'm always looking for ways to give, members, more value.
Yeah, I did enjoy the draft. The one when we got to do the draft night one.
Yes, that was cool.
That one was fun.
Yeah, I wish I got a little bit more support on that one, but
You're missing out. Y'all not listening to what the
love-
fans like.
I love the NFL draft. I don't watch college football like most people would imagine with me being so football minded for so much of my life. I don't watch a minute of college football.
Same.
I really can care less. But when we get into the NFL draft season, I'm a draft junkie. I will watch all the things, do all the mock drafts. So the mock draft contest is one that I really wanted to do. I thought it'd be super cool. But I'd like to thank Michelle on this one because Michelle's our marketing director here on the team, and she let me know like there's certain legalities that we have to abide by when it comes to these things. I was like, oh well, that takes the fun out of it. But I'm still gonna love the draft.
Why do we gotta include legal in this? Go ahead.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, we're
Always
part of a
ruining.
big deal league here. We got to cross our T's and dot our I's.
yep.
But if there's a legal way to do something like that, best believe I would love to, spearhead something like that because it ties us to the NFL, in that way. And, and I'm just doing what I enjoy. I love the draft.
Yeah, I got
I
that
don't care if
all
I
it's
on.
think
picking third
it's
or
good.
23rd. I watch
It's
it.
good just to get out for football stuff with the team. Like it's not
Mhm.
it's not Brahmas related, it's NFL related,
Mhm.
something like that. But you're still out there getting the team name out, which I think is immensely important. So
Yeah, for sure. And it's at a time where a lot of NFL eyes are watching, and I would like to convert a lot of those NFL eyes to the UFL product.
Yeah.
Because that coincides with our season. So if you're watching the NFL draft, you clearly like football to a degree that's more than just the games on Sunday in the fall. So if you like it enough to watch them just read off a bunch of names, chances are you'll like it, screaming for the Brahmas on third down, when we stop whoever we sacked their quarterback.
Mhm.
So it's just educating the market. San Antonio is the 7th largest city in the country, so we have a lot of people to reach. Fun fact there, Jacksonville is actually the largest in the lower 48 states. So the cities are very similar in that way. So educating the market is certainly a big priority. And let people know we have this team and how fun the games are.
Yeah.
Brahmas night at the Roadrunners. You want to talk to the Roadrunners about that one?
We could just all show up in our yellow with all the orange.
Yep.
I mean, even if we
Yeah,
had to do it as just a fan,
Brahma takeover of the Roadrunners.
yeah.
You know?
Or even if
Yeah.
we just show up as a tailgate in the Brahmas stuff, because
Mhm.
I saw some videos from just the last game, obviously, because it's a big one with San Marcos and
Yeah, you
UTSA
never
stuff.
know. We're always open to building whatever lasting partnerships we can. Like, I don't think I'm pulling the curtain back too much. Like, I just met with my friends at UIW last Friday,
Fun.
about kind of what that would look like, So I'm always trying to find different ways to collaborate. I did one with the missions, and getting discounted missions tickets in there and for them to offer discounted promise tickets, so on and so forth. But Rome wasn't built in a day. I have to remind myself and my
Right.
teammates all the time, like, for us here at the Brahmas, I'm going to ask you guys, you know how many games the Brahmas have played at home in total? Off the top of your head?
Are we talking just UFL or total?
No, total for the Brahmas, all 3
14.
seasons. 14. That's not a very big number.
Mhm.
14
Hey,
games is
look
what
at
we've
you.
worked
I was
together.
all 5, 6. I was
Well, it's our
counting
Yeah.
third season. We had 5, 5, and 4. So
5-5-4, yeah. So we've only suited up 14 times here
Dang.
at home.
14? It
Yeah.
seems
Yeah.
like so much more.
well,
I guess
Not a very
we've
big
also
number.
been to many more.
Yeah.
Others, so you
Right.
know,
Well,
You've been to road games.
yeah.
So it's been 14 times that we've suited up in the Alamo Dome. So, we are still very much in our infancy and growing, but we're growing at a really great rate, especially for the way springtime football has been presented in the past. We're a lasting product and we're a growing product. We're a league that a lot of players want to be a part of. If I can tell you a quick story here. One of our new board members over at Fourth and Gold is the owner of the Jacksonville Sharks arena football team. So I was doing a fundraiser event, and in which it was his introduction to the board. And I'm sitting down eating a quesadilla, and he corners me. James, I have 3 players I need you to talk to. We need to get them on the Brahmas, and they're here tonight. So he sits these 3 guys right in front of me, and they're all
Not
3 of them
during
play on
quesadilla
the
time.
defense. Yeah, during my quesadilla. So all 3 of them play defense, and they're telling me how much they want to be a part of the UFL. And they've seen the product on television. They know they can help the teams, and I'm like, well, my role's in ticketing. I don't get to make roster decisions. I can talk to Brids though. So, and these guys super eager, hungry to be a part of this league, and you got plenty of other players out there that are looking for those opportunities to grow their careers. And these are professional athletes. All they do is play football, and they just want to do it at higher levels. So best believe, if you don't think the Brahmas are a big deal, or you don't know much about the UFL, or you're somebody watching this who's just sitting on the fence, like, there are athletes hungry to be a part of what we're building in this springtime football league, and it's not going anywhere. So we're going to play these games, and we want to play them with you, around. No, that was not at La Nop, Brahma Babe. That's La Nopalera in Jacksonville, and that's not really good Mexican food.
Nice.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
It's inside baseball for Jacksonville. What else we got? I know we're getting close on time, right?
We're actually a little bit over.
We don't care about time. Whatever.
It's the first episode back. We're
Yeah.
okay.
We haven't had a show in 3 months, so you know what?
Right.
We're gonna go way over.
I'm here for it.
Nice.
Hey, I got some Raw to watch. I don't know about y'all. I'm just
Yeah, I'll
trying to
watch
get back
Raw.
in my wrestling. Getting back into my wrestling.
I got the Monday night game on over here. So
Yeah, I'm trying to get to it. So,
so
Yeah.
Jay's the one that's trying to like, hey, let's wrap this crap up. I got
yep.
So that's why
How?
that's why you put a TV next to your podcast area, so you don't
Yeah.
have to.
Or get a second screen and air it on the second screen.
There you go.
Duh.
I've got a 58-inch right off screen.
But you have to go like this.
still. Yeah, I'd have to be like this the whole time, and that's kind of rude to James. Anyways, James, how can our fans, if they're not already connected with you, how can they connect with you to find out all the goings on in the James Carr world so they can see more of what you do, get more connected, help get the word out more?
Well, I kind of do something similar to what I did in Jacksonville. I do a lot of social media, so a lot of my community things get shared there. You can follow me on Instagram at UFL_JC, my initials. So you can always ask me questions there. You can shoot me an email at james.carr, CARR, at theufl.com. You can always call me or text me. It's 210-740-0063. If you haven't seen my business card, it's posted on my socials. And yeah, just fire away. I'm always here and happy to answer.
He always
Nice.
has the answer. And if he doesn't, he'll tell you. That's still
Well,
an answer.
Mm,
Well, last thing,
mm. Okay.
anything more that you want to continue and leave off about 4th and goal before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, we got some really cool things. Like I've been able to build some really nice partnership. This year we've introduced gold out games in which we will give out ribbons and stickers and decals and brochures and just really set up a table and have a good time, getting word out. So there'll be more events with those coming up in Texas. I have one. I'm doing a youth volleyball game in a middle school. I don't know what it is. I put it in GPS and I'll find it. Hopefully be able to do a collegiate game in that way. Thanks so much to the Medina Valley Junior Wildcats for being the first youth football team to participate in the Gold Out game this past Saturday. And also, we'll have a table over Branson and the wrestling guys. So my friends Jazz and Rodney Mack helping me out at Dog Pound Championship Wrestling. They present their show the last Sunday of the month over at Big Burger Joint on UTSA. So normally I'm there as a Brahma sponsor. So they do a great job with allowing me the opportunity to set up a Brahmas table and sell Brahmas tickets there. So for September, I'll convert, kind of to my 4th and goal table and kind of do a little bit of both at the same time as we remind people of the great cause. So our website can be found at 4th and Gold. So 4th and Gold spelled out .org. And you can follow us on all the socials. That is super important. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, especially. I don't know much about our Twitter, but Facebook, Instagram, just give us a follow and see the cool things that we have going on, the stories that we share, because they're really impactful. And you can, even just by following, you can help us put an end to Falcon cancer.
Period.
Very
And
awesome.
you can even just do the QR code over there and it'll take you straight to the website. Please donate.
100%.
We got all of September and even past September. Donate if you can. And if you can't, that's where you go onto the social medias and share it. Spreading the word is just as good as donating monetarily.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep.
All right, guys. Anything else before we wrap up our first episode back? I did it, y'all.
We did it, James. It was great finally having you on, man.
Right.
And I mean, anything we can do to help you, man. We're always here.
We're always the first to sign up.
Absolute ton. Thanks for making it happen and thinking of me as the first guest to kick off season 4. I'll be looking for cool guests, that I can, want to help, put on the show and, speak to fans. And people have a really great time on your show. And it's awesome. I appreciate you guys doing what you do. And if I'm not participating as a guest, I'm in the comments. I'm watching y'all. I'm always an active participant of the show, even when I'm not on.
Yep.
Wow.
Also, Texans Talking Football, the NFL show, the college show, give my brothers a view tomorrow as well. I enjoy that show as well because I'm such a big NFL fan, so I like getting those takes about that one. I don't think I'm restricted, so I think I should be able to get on that show.
There you go.
Yeah, so I mean,
we'll have to talk on that one.
Yeah, I love that. I can definitely help on that show. Yeah, I'm a football fan, just like everybody else.
He could be the third guy.
Yeah, no, I gotta have time. I have time to do that. But I do watch. I love what you guys do and what you bring to our fan base. So big salute to you guys, and then of course Jorge and DJ as well. Love what all you guys do. Miss you guys, and look forward to seeing you real soon.
Absolutely, man.
Can't wait, man.
I guess that's it for the night. We are going to be going bi-weekly. So not next Monday, but the following Monday, we have a guest too. So just look out on our Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram to see who's going to be joining us in a couple weeks. And again, thank you to AFN. Don't forget to watch our guys tomorrow, Texas Talking Football. What you got, Jay?
I was just going to say I'll be sharing it to MySpace also.
So. MySpace, yeah.
That'll be in my top 8.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Changing
All
it
right.
this
Finding
week.
out I'm 40 tonight. That's gonna be hilarious. He's turning 40. I can imagine.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. When you said it, black don't crack at all. You
Black
look like you're
Uh,
young.
I remember when I turned 40, barely. So,
All right.
anyways, that being the
Points-
case, it's way past my bedtime. So,
Yeah, it's
right,
old people
points
time.
forward.
All
Points
right.
forward.
Suck it, St. Louis.
Oh, gosh.
All right.